radiant morning to you wherever you're tuned in from. You're listening to SBS 96.9 FM broadcasting live from the heart of the Federal Low Cost Housing Estate, Oloje, Ilorin. It's a brand new day and let's get into today's newspaper review. You're listening to the newspaper review and analysis with Olubukola, Abiola from all of us at SBS 96.9 FM. On behalf of the Chief Executive Officer Alhaji Salman Babatunde Salman, we want to wish you a very good morning. The newspaper reviews and analysis is segmented into three parts: the headline, the body of the story, and we analyze trending issues. And of course, you have the chance to call in and air your opinion as regard our topic of discussion. With me this morning is the Daily Post, the Vanguard, the Punch, the Nation, Daily Trust, the Independent, Nigerian Tribune, and lots more. Please stay tuned. Starting from the Punch newspaper, my reforms have restored Nigeria's global respect, says Tinubu. President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday said his administration's bold economic reforms, which aim to restore Nigeria to its enviable position, are achieving favorable results. He added that the country's economy is now stable and attracting interest from around the world. The special advisor to the president on information strategy, Bayo Ononuga, disclosed this of the meeting in a statement he signed yesterday titled "In Just 2 Years, Nigeria is Now Respected Globally." With me this morning, my reforms have restored Nigeria's global respect, says President Tinubu. From the Daily Post this morning, Nigeria records 20.59 trillion naira revenue in 8 months, strongest fiscal performance in years. The presidency yesterday announced that Nigeria recorded its strongest fiscal performance in recent history, mobilizing 20.59 trillion naira in revenues between January and August 2025. According to the figures, the collections represented a 40.5% increase compared with 14.6 trillion naira in the same period of 2024, with non-oil sources contributing 15.69 trillion naira, 3/4 of the total. This was disclosed in a statement yesterday by the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Ononuga. With me this morning from the Daily Post on business, Nigeria records 20.59 trillion naira revenue in 8 months, the strongest fiscal performance in years. From the Vanguard, declare state of emergency in North to save us, Northern leaders tell Tinubu. Northern elders under auspices of Northern Elders Forum (NEF) yesterday called on President Bola Tinubu to declare a state of emergency in the North following the protracted insecurity that has devastated the socio-economic life and development of the region. In a coming sign by the spokesperson NEF, Professor Abubakar expressed deep concern over the spate of violent attacks, abductions of killings across the region, warning that if a state of emergency is not declared, it might lead to self-help situation and anarchy, and currently it is a threat to Nigeria's stability and regional peace. With me this morning from the Vanguard newspaper, declare state of emergency in North to save us, Northern elders tell Tinubu. From the Nation this morning, Tinubu seeks NAS backing to fast-track police. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday said his administration will work closely with the leadership of the National Assembly to remove political and bureaucratic bottlenecks startling the operationalization of state police in Nigeria. Speaking at the State House Abuja during a meeting with members of the Northeast Governors Forum led by Babangana Zulum, the president said the time had come for a clear collective path towards community-based policing that reflects the peculiar needs of different regions. With me this morning from the Nation's newspaper, Tinubu seeks NAS backing to fast-track state police. Coming from the Nigerian Tribune this morning, federal government unveils new curriculum for GSS SS students. The federal government have released much anticipated new school curriculum for junior secondary school GSS and the senior secondary school SS students set to take effect from the 2025 to 2026 academic session. The full list of subjects was shared yesterday by the special assistant of the president on social media, Dada Olusegun, via his ex handle formerly known as Twitter. With me this morning from the Nigerian Tribune, federal government unveils new curriculum for GSS and SS students. From the Daily Post, ADC coalition leaders could not answer 99% of our questions. SDP Adebayo says ahead of the 2027 race for the nation's top seat, the presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, in the 2023 elections, Adewale Adebayo, has warned Nigerians against politicians that change parties without changing their political tendencies, insisting that only new politicians with fresh ideas would bring about the change that have been yearning for. With me this morning from the Daily Post newspaper, ADC coalition leaders could not answer 99% of our questions, SDP Adebayo says. Coming from the Daily Post, troops neutralize one bandit, recover AK-47 rifle ammunition. Troops of the 22 Armored Brigade, Sobi Kwara State, have neutralized one bandit and recovered one AK-47 rifle ammunition and one motorcycle in operation along Lima Road in Edo local government area of the state. In an encounter in the early hours yesterday, troops deployed at the forward operating base FOB Patigi local government area at the state at about 12:10 hours conducted an ambush in the Lema Daban area and subsequently made contact with the miscreant from the ambush side. With me this morning from Kwara State, troops neutralized one bandit and recover AK-47 rifle ammunition. Tinubu to commission 6,000 metric ton lithium processing plant in Nasarawa. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is expected to commission a newly completed 6,000 metric ton lithium processing plant in Nasarawa State. Governor Abdullahi Sule has disclosed, speaking to the State House correspondent After a closed-door meeting with the president in Abuja, Governor Sule explained that the facility built by Chinese investors has just been completed and is now ready for official unveiling. The governor recalled that in 2024, a 3,000 metric ton lithium processing plant was commissioned in Nasarawa local government area, a project that attracted additional investors after confirming the state's high-quality lithium deposits. With me this morning from the Daily Post newspaper, Tinubu to commission 6,000 metric ton lithium processing plant in Nasarawa. The Nigerian Air Force air interdiction neutralizes 15 terrorists in Sambisa. The Nigerian Air Force component of Operation Andikai has killed at least 15 terrorists and destroyed their structures in an air interdiction mission at Zuwa, a newly identified hideout in the Sambisa forest area of Borno State. According to military sources, the operation was carried out on September 3rd at about 11:50 a.m. following intelligence that tracked insurgents fleeing from sustained group operations in the Beta axis in July. With me this morning, the Nigerian Air Force interdiction neutralizing 15 terrorists in Sambisa. From the Punch newspaper, APC opposition clash over federal government's revenue growth claim. The All Progressives Congress and opposition parties yesterday clashed over President Bola Tinubu's claim that Nigeria has already achieved its 2025 revenue targets, while the APC insisted that the president has placed Nigeria on the path of economic recovery. The African Democratic Congress, Labour Party, New Nigerians People Party, and the coalition of united political parties accused Tinubu of celebrating statistics while citizens struggle under severe economic hardship. Also, economists expressed skepticism about the president's assertion that the federal government had stopped borrowing locally, as they called for clarification from the managers of the economy. With me this morning, APC and opposition clash over federal government's revenue growth claim. All right, starting and moving quickly. Nigeria records 20.59 trillion naira revenue in 8 months, strongest fiscal performance in years. The presidency yesterday announced that Nigeria recorded its strongest fiscal performance in recent history, mobilizing 20.59 trillion naira in revenues between January and August 2025. Comrade Olaito Arija, what is your take on that?
Thank you very much, and it is my pleasure once again to be on this very particular program. Olubukola, don't let us deceive ourselves. This figure rolled out that Nigeria generated a total revenue of over 20 trillion naira within the space of 8 months. That is from January
to
August 2025. It is a welcome development, and the spokesperson of Mr. President also asserted that this figure shows that it is the highest in the history of this very particular country, but yet far below the expected revenue that we are supposed to generate, going by what we have in the 2025 budget. Don't let us forget the fact that in the 2025 budget, the size of it stood at over 54 trillion naira. And when we are to look at it, that Nigeria has generated a little bit far above 20 trillion naira. One would want to say that we are generating a little bit above 2-point-something trillion naira on monthly basis. So if we are to look at this, that shows that we still have a very serious level of deficit. And this is one of the reasons why Nigeria as a country, we are keeping to be having what is known as a kind of deficit budget. Remember, I told you that when we are talking of budget, we have just 3 types of it. We have what we call surplus budget, a situation whereby the expected revenue is higher than the expenditure. In such a situation, you have what is known as...
All right, Comrade Olaito, looking at the...
I'm driving to a particular place. I just want to lay that as a background to this discussion. So now, when we are to look at it, it is a welcome development that we generate such huge amount of money. But despite the fact that Nigeria as a country, we are generating this huge amount of money, which the spokesperson of Mr. President has asserted that this is the highest in the history of this very particular country. Don't let us forget that in the month of July, the FAC allocation, that is the money generated that was shared between the 3 tiers of government, the federal government, the state, as well as the local government, was 2.09 trillion naira. And I went back to look at exactly what did we share last when during the administration of President Muhammad Buhari, and I looked at what we shared in March 2023, and I discovered that Nigeria as a country, we share something over 700 billion naira.
Okay.
That is to tell you that we are generating more money now. But despite the fact that we are generating more money now, let us ask ourselves these pertinent questions. Nigeria is generating money, but what exactly is the position? What exactly is the welfare and welfareism of Nigerians? What do we have in the education sector? We are still
now let's talk about economic analysis, right?
Okay.
Like, what factors contributed to Nigeria's strong fiscal performance, resulting into 20.59 trillion revenue in 8 months?
Thank you very much. There is one of the
factors,
one of the factors that made Nigeria to generate this huge amount of money cannot be disconnected from the policies of this very particular administration. What I mean by policies, the fuel subsidy removal was the key factor that has been a kind of lubricant in the wheel of progress of this present administration in the area of revenue generation, because the fuel subsidy was removed, and as a result of that, the government is not paying subsidy anymore.
Right.
So that means that the government is generating more and more money in that. Not only in the area of fuel subsidy removal, another policy taken by this administration that has been making this administration to be generating more and more money, up to this point that we are finding out exchange rate. You see, initially, the exchange rate we have two prices, the black market price as well as the official price. So, but since this president came on board, he has been able to unify the two prices to make it one. And as a result of that, the concession, because initially some importers of certain essential commodities, governments usually give them what is known as concession. Concession in the sense that if the official rate of $1 to naira is 400 naira, so there are certain importers that government may give them at the rate of 300 naira or 350 naira, just for them to make any item being imported into this country to be affordable to the masses. But that privilege, that window is no longer there. And as a result of that, government is accumulating more and more money. But despite the fact that the government at the federal level is accumulating more and more money, and this money is shared across the three tiers of the government, I mean the federal, the state, as well as the local government. I want to ask, what exactly has Nigerians benefited from this landmark increase in our physical performance? I want to tell you, Nigerians have not benefited anything from it.
So from this performance, we haven't benefited anything from it.
Let us ask ourselves.
All right.
This thing is very feasible to the blind. Nigeria is generating this huge amount of money, and Nigerians are sovereign. Nigeria is generating these trillions. What is the state of infrastructure in our schools? I mean, both the primary, the secondary, as well as the tertiary institution. We have the state of infrastructure is nothing to write home about. What do we have in the area of health care?
So what are the potential benefits?
You see, this thing is just a mere figure.
It's just a mere figure.
To economists, there is difference between economic growth and economic development.
Okay.
Economic growth, what we are having is a kind of growth. We are not having economic development as expected. Economic growth just means quantitative increase. Let's say you have 1 today, 2 tomorrow, 3 in the next day. That
and
means that you are
like that,
exactly. But when we are talking of the real economic development, we are talking of economy that will touch the life, the welfare of the citizen of a particular country. Despite the fact that Nigeria
how would it touch lives and citizens of the particular country?
Yes, the only solution to subsidy removal is subsidy reactivation. Subsidy reactivation, I mean, may not necessarily be in the area of PMS. That is the premium motor spirit.
Definitely.
We are having a situation whereby in the area of education, we can activate subsidy by making our primary, secondary, even to university education, by making it free. I mean, this is one of the areas where parents are paying through their nose. We can reactivate this subsidy in the area of health. There are so many diseases that Nigerians are battling with. We do hear it on this radio as well as all other radio platforms that this so person is seeking for the assistance from the general public. On certain ailments, some may be seeking for 20 million, 50 million just to take care of a certain ailment. So this is the area we are talking about. We need the government, we need to be seen. This huge amount of money they are making, we want to see it in the area of education by making sure that they improve in the quality of our education so that we can stand shoulder to shoulder with the other countries of the world. Also, in the area of electricity, virtually there are some communities that for the past 2 weeks they have not seen anything like electricity supply. So these are evidence that the money that the government is making, this money is not working for Nigerians, and we are calling that the only way this money can be worked for Nigeria is by ensuring that this money is used judiciously. We are not only, like I used to say.
So, Comrade Olaito Arija, you are saying that this figures and statistics that was brought out is just a mere statistics. It's just mere. It's not real, right?
Okay, Olubukola, let us
is that what you are saying, Comrade Olaito Arija?
No, let us look at it in this direction.
Okay.
Imagine I, as an individual, my monthly salary is 70,000 naira, and God's willing, where I'm working, they increased my salary from 70,000 naira to 150,000 naira, over 100% increase. And the welfare of my family continues to remain the same. The welfare of my wife continues to remain the same. My children, their schools still remain the same. The food they used to take still remain the same. Can they actually say that their father has been promoted? Can they actually say that their father is now collecting a huge salary? That is what we are talking about. Let us look at it.
But that in that scenario is just affecting you. How about the other people? Is probably not affecting them as well.
Olubukola, don't let us deceive ourselves. Honestly,
okay,
we know
what implications does this have on the budget and the fiscal policy of Nigeria?
Yes, it is. The implication this may have is that, remember, I said, don't let us forget that the 2024 budget is still ongoing simultaneously with that of 2025. The reason why we are still having 2024 budget in operation with that of 2025 has to do with the fact that the expected revenue that the government intended to generate for 2024 was not totally met.
All right.
And as a result of that, they extended the implementation of 2024 budget to December 31st, 2025, to be going simultaneously with that of 2025. So we may likely have the same scenario come 2026, because despite the fact that we are generating this, Nigeria as a country, we are still borrowing. And when I look at
what is the evidence that we are still borrowing?
Exactly, the evidences are here. According to the Debt Management Office, that is the DMO, as at 31st March 2025, Nigeria total debt stood at 149.39 trillion naira in the first quarter of 2025. That is, and initially, when we are to look at it, in the first quarter of 2024, Nigeria total debt stood at 121.67 trillion naira. That shows that between first quarter of 2024 to first quarter of 2025, for the sake of our listeners who may not know what exactly the first quarter means, the Debt Management Office usually release the statistics to tell us what exactly is the present stand of Nigeria in the area of debt, and they do it every 3 months. The first quarter is from January to March, second quarter April to June, third quarter July to December, and fourth quarter October to December. So in first quarter of 2024, our total debt stood at 121.67 trillion naira. But unfortunately for us, in 2025, as at March 31st, our total debt stood at 149.39 trillion naira. That shows that we are having 27.9 trillion naira increase when compared to that of 2024. But it is not largely as a result of borrowing.
Okay, so
there are two factors that accounted for that. Though we borrowed, but another factor is that the policy of the government, the devaluation of currency. Let us imagine this scenario just to broaden the knowledge of our listeners. Let's assume that in 2023, I owe you 1 million naira, $1 million rather. I owe you $1 million. Then the exchange rate of $1 to naira was 400 naira. That means that I owe you 400 million naira.
Okay.
But as a result of the devaluation of the currency, as we are speaking, the exchange rate of naira to dollar is at 1,500 naira. That means that if we are to look at the same $1 million that I owe you in 2023,
that's 1.5 billion.
That is 1.5 billion. That is the logic to it. So what we are calling at now is that.
So you're telling us now, right now, that the statistics that was made was mere statement, and we are still borrowing.
Yes,
and the fiscal and the percentage and the statistics does not have any impact on our economy, right?
You see, all this are nothing because the only area where exactly we can know that a particular government is working is in the area of welfare and welfareism of the general public.
All right.
And the welfare of Nigeria, as we are speaking, is deteriorating on daily basis.
Thank you, Comrade Olaito Arija. Moving quickly, declare state of emergency in North to save us. Northern leaders tell Tinubu. Northern elders under the auspices of Northern Elders Forum, NEF, yesterday called on President Bola Tinubu to declare a state of emergency in the North following the protracted insecurity that has devastated the socio-economic life and development of the region. Comrade Olaito Arija, what is your take on that?
Yes, let us make this very particular news clear. The declaration of state of emergency that they are calling for is not synonymous to what happened in Rivers State. They are not calling for such, but they are calling on the attention of the federal government to declare state of emergency in the area of insecurity. That is, they need to intensify their efforts. They need the federal government
in protecting the people in the North.
Exactly. That is the area they are calling for the declaration of state of emergency. And I think Mr. President responded in a very responsible manner by promising them that he is supporting them and he will still do more just to ensure the protection of life and property. And part of the things that he has done just to ensure that he is providing that kind of support to them, because I still read another news where the Mr. President was seeking for the support of the National Assembly just for them to fast all the processes in the establishment of state police. So I think this is the way to go. And those governors that have went to Mr. President, they have made a kind of right move in the right direction, because there is no doubt about the fact that Nigeria as a country, we are not secure. Nobody cannot
so
tell
they
us
should declare all states of emergency
in the area of insecurity. When you are declaring a state of emergency in any particular sector in your country, that means that sector will be given utmost attention. That is what they meant by the declaration of state of emergency. It is not out of place to do such, because even from the budget of either the federal government, the state or the local government, the sector that normally attracted large chunk of it has to do with the security sector. So, and that sector, there is no doubt about the fact that whether we want to develop, if Nigeria want to move to the next level, the issue of insecurity should be solved, because there is no way. This issue of insecurity is directly related to economic development, because we've seen so many instances whereby people have fled their villages, and these people, they have embarked on the plantation of crops, and when these people are no longer there, that means that those planted crops will be destroyed, and as a result of that, we will have shortage in food supply.
So do you think the security agencies have been addressing the issue of insecurity in the North?
Of course. Okay. The security agencies, they are doing their best.
Okay.
They are doing their best, and we have been calling on daily basis that the government at the subnational level, the state as well as the local government, should give them the necessary support by providing them with the necessary with that. So by supporting them with the logistics, because we've seen so many instances whereby the villagers had cried out that the necessary support was not being given to them by their affected local government chairman. Even we've seen such a scenario here in Kwara State, whereby certain villagers went to a particular local government secretariat. On getting there, the local government chairman was not on ground. So we want the government at the subnational level to equally intensify their efforts by supporting the security agencies with the necessary logistics, so that these people will be very much ready to discharge their duty.
All right, thank you, Comrade Olaito Arija. Moving quickly, what strategies do you think can work for the insecurity in the North, apart from declaring the state of emergency?
Yes, we have been saying this on daily basis, because there was a time I was here and I said we need to look at the causative factor. The stage at which we are now in Nigeria is a stage whereby we need to make it an eye for an eye situation. Anybody that has been found to be culpable, that has been found to be involved in, that has been found to be wreaking havoc on this country, anybody that has been investigated, I think the full weight of the law should be descended on that person, so that others that may want to perpetrate it in the nearest future will know that it is no longer business as usual.
And we'll learn from it.
Because we said that one of the factors that we advanced then that has been contributing to this high level of insecurity, we said then that unemployment was one of the factors. But when I searched further, I discovered that it is more of greed than the level of unemployment. Because there are some that even if they are employed, the money they are looking for,
they are not contented.
Exactly. So the money they are looking for, they cannot get it from anywhere. Because imagine, the salary in Nigeria is 70,000 naira minimum wage, and somebody is saying that it need like 2 billion, 3 billion naira. A whooping some amount of money that even your entire salary for the next 35 years.
So someone looking for 2 billion naira is greedy.
You see, there are processes towards everything that you want to achieve. You cannot tell me that you want to be a 3-year-old child, want to be in 100 level in any university, in any tertiary institution. It has to pass through the laid down processes by attending primary before proceeding to secondary and university. After which to university. Imagine 30-year-old boy is looking for 2 billion naira for what? So it is more of greed than the high level of unemployment that we are talking about. But it is still our appeal that the government at all level, since we know that the white collar job cannot be provided for all job seekers, but it is the responsibility of the government at all levels to provide enabling environment whereby the potential investor will be able to invest. We don't want a situation whereby we will be having a mouth-tearing interest rate. We don't want a situation whereby this insecurity. Let us imagine, we've said that there are some that have flew their villages. Those people, majority of them were predominantly farmer. And as we are speaking, they are not there as a result of the activities of the bandits, as well as the kidnappers. So these people, they are now jobless. They have now been added to the teeming unemployed Nigerians. So as a result of that, and there is this popular saying that an idle hand is a devil's workshop. So the earlier we solve this issue of insecurity, the better for our country.
Thank you, Comrade Olaito Arije. For you to join and share your opinion this morning, the studio line to call is 07031501256. For you to join the program and share your opinion as regard our topic of discussion, the studio line to call is 07031501256. Moving on, Tinubu 6 NAS back into fast track state police. Nigeria. Comrade Olaito Arija, what is your take on that?
Sure, thank you very much. We don't need to exert much energy on this very particular one.
No, right.
I think the members of the National Assembly, they are each of them is representing a particular,
Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Alaji Tayolo, calling from Port Harcourt.
Good morning.
Alaji.
Good morning, Mr. Adija. Good morning, sir.
No, good morning. You're welcome.
Mr. Good morning. Yeah.
Good morning.
You see, I want to start on the issue of increase in our revenue generation. Firstly, we have to appreciate all those that are in our various revenue agencies. In the Niger data here, the incidence of oil bunkering and theft has reduced drastically. And this is because of the proactive nature of all those that are involved, the military, the paramilitary, the civil defense, the police, the DSS, and others. So this is and that is why our revenue has increased drastically. Then you can see what the customs has generated. is a very good one. But you begin to ask the question, why is this thing not, trooping down to you and me? Why are we not feeling the impact of this? Already the fuel subsidy has removed, right? And that is why we have this gargantuan revenue coming. But how much of the governor has really spent the money to benefit you and me? Many of them are now busy with 2027. And that is why we are not having anything good. Many of them are trying to amass riches, allegedly anyway, for 2027, not minding what becomes of you and me. You see, as this money is increasing, we're supposed to be feeling it in the transportation sector, the health sector, and the educational sector. But the reverse is the case. However, even as I speak to you, many federal agencies today have not received their salary, despite the fact that sitting and they took something $3 on that. So those should try to be from a mission of the trickle down. There are issues of in the northern. You see, most of this
Sorry, we lost that. Please call us back to join and share your opinion regarding our topic of discussion. Moving on, Comrade Olaiton, about president using the NAS to back up the police.
Yes, like I was saying that each member of the National Assembly, either the senator or the member of the House of Representatives, each of them is representing a particular senatorial district or a particular federal constituency, as the case may be. It is expected that these areas that we are saying that there is insecurity, we cannot disconnect these areas from the coverage area of the members of the National Assembly. We are saying here in Kwara State, we are making specific reference to the Kwara North Senatorial District as well as the Kwara South Senatorial District. We have senators that are representing. Okay.
Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm still allowed to tell you. You see, on the issue of insecurity, you see, when people commit crime and they are not made to face the wrath of the law, it will continue. We have seen cases whereby some of these miscreants and their supposedly sponsor, their alleged sponsor, have been arrested. But at the end of the day, nothing happens. So you see, that is the problem we are having. We should begin to interrogate the fact that why is this thing happening? Who are the people behind them? Because these people that are carrying this gun, they are miscreants. That's on Nigeria that has sponsored them. People should have to rethink and see this country as belonging to you and me, and we should be looking for the progress of the country. Then on the issue of not getting the dividend of the mostly like our House of Assembly member, House of Senators of Assembly, like I said, these people are amassing riches. There's a particular constituency in Ogun State I will not mention. If you see the kind of empowerment that man brought to his constituency, is highly super. And there's another senator too in Kogi State. If all other senators, all others are doing this, how long will it take for you and me to begin to benefit from the dividend of democracy? But you see, when these things are not done, when people are just selfish, they are not interested in our problem, and that is why they have made it. Politics in Nigeria today is like a cabal. If the father is living as a governor, you see his son coming up as a senator, as an House of Reps. We should begin to see Nigeria as a collective project. That is really we can, and our representatives should fear God and ensure that we get the result of democracy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Taiwo. Moving on, federal government unveils new curriculum for GSS in SS students. The federal government has released the much anticipated new curriculum for junior secondary school, GSS and senior secondary SS students set to take effect from 2025-2026 academic session. Comrade Olaito Arijo, what is your take on that? Quickly.
Yes, the move by the federal government to unveil new curriculum, to me, it is a welcome development and a right move in the right direction. A right move in the right direction. Because we have been calling that the curriculum that we are using in Nigeria is outdated and is not in tune with the 21st century reality. So this move, it is a welcome development. And I want them to ensure that the full implementation of this new curriculum takes effect come this 2025-2026 academic session, so that the students can be exposed to the 21st century knowledge. Because we are saying this, that we need to move away from the old curriculum. Don't let us forget that making of curriculum is this responsibility of the Federal Ministry of Education.
Definitely.
The State Ministry of Education cannot put in place a new curriculum. It is a function of the Federal Ministry of Education. So the step they have taken, it is a welcome development. And another thing, because it is not only limited to the area of unveiling alone, there are so many supportive services they need to provide just to ensure that the intended purpose of creating new curriculum is achieved. And how do we go about that? Is by ensuring that the teachers who are the chief agents in implementing this curriculum
and impacting the
exactly
skills.
there some of them, they need to train the teachers to be in tune with what is embedded in this new curriculum. So I expect that at all states of the Federation, by now, seminars, workshop, training should be ongoing for all teachers, so that because school is resuming by September 15, that is to tell you that they have just 10 days. And they are saying that this thing will take effect from this September, this very particular month. So it is expected by now that all hands must be on deck across the 36 states of the Federation, as well as the 774 local government that we have.
Nigeria.
That the teachers should be in training by now, for them to be in tune with what is embedded in that very particular curriculum, so that they will be able to discharge and impact the knowledge to the students. And not only that, because another reason why the government has done this has to do with the fact that they are saying the government cannot provide for all graduates white collars job, and as a result of that, they develop a new curriculum whereby the attention will be shifted from the seeking of job to the towards job creation. So, and if they want to do that, because there are some newly introduced subjects that they cannot be taught theoretically, there should be practical aspect of it. So I want to urge the government at all levels to make sure that the facilities through which they will tutor these students, by making sure that they provide all this facility, so that their teachers will be engaging them both theoretically and practically. So, and as a result of that, the intended purpose of the government will be achieved.
Hello, your name and where you're calling from?
Hello, good morning. My name is Abikadi. I'm calling from Ilorin.
Good morning, Mr. Abikadri.
Good morning. We appreciate federal government for economy. For not economy reform is a revenue reform, which is affecting our economy, affecting the standard of living. They remove fuel subsidy, the unified dollar. So all this income revenue they have gotten is not in fact on average Nigeria. Why school fees is increasing, healthcare is increasing, there is inflation on everything. If they could not use all this money to provide job opportunity, if federal government they don't know what to do with this revenue, let them do empower again. 2 million jobs for fresh graduates, 70,000. That will be direct impact on masses, because the policy of the government does not encourage any foreign investor. No more foreign investor will come where there is a cost of living, high standard of cost of living. So we are appealing to the federal government to do the needful. People are suffering. This 70,000 is all about $45. So how can a reasonable human being will be collect $45 in a month for 30 days? So we plead to government. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Abdulkadir, for your...
Yes, I want to corroborate what Mr. Abdulkadir has said, that, but I will differ a little bit, because we are appealing, but we don't, and at this junction, this money that we are generating, the federal government is across the 3 tiers of the government. I mean, the states are collecting their own, and the local governments are equally having access to their own. Share. So the appeal that we should be making by now should not only settle around the federal government, but to the government at the subnational level. Because these people, they are equally feeling the positive aspect of this huge amount of money that the federal government is generating. So, and as a result, the citizens of their respective states should equally have a fair share of it.
Thank you, Comrade Olaito Arija. Your last words.
Yes, I want to say that we need to promote the image of this country wherever we are, and the security for all is the responsibility of all. So if we see something, we should learn how to say something.
Thank you, Comrade Olaito Arija. Thank you to everyone who called in this morning. Thank you for tuning in this morning to SBS 96.9. Please join us tomorrow, same time, same station. I remain Olubukola Abiola. Have a wonderful day.